Dave, a win, I'm going to say away at Cheadle, but I suppose on neutral ground against Cheadle this afternoon. What were your overall thoughts?
It's a tough game, wasn't it? I think obviously when you get to this stage of the season and the weather we've had over the last few weeks, the pitch is tough, it's bobbly, it's been prepared really well. I think they've worked night and day on it to try and get it the best we can, but it's just not very conducive to playing the type of football that we wanted to play. And Cheadle, to be fair as well, I think they're another side that does try to play, but it just made it a little bit more scrappy than we'd have liked. There's too many transitions, too many turnovers, but look, if you want to try and get promotions, then you've got to go out and do things when things get tough, and we've proved that today. And I think they've probably had one shot on goal where they looked dangerous. So defensively, we've been absolutely outstanding. Look, we're always going to criticise because we want the best from the lads. So we're always going to criticise the lack of control we had with the ball, but out of possession, I thought we were outstanding. And like I said, they never caused us any problems. Decent Cheadle side, good Cheadle side. It was set up in a way that tactically really strong. So overall, really pleased. And the noise from the fans, I'm sure you would have probably come on to it, but like that today, that's not North West Counties. It's not. If you can't stand in front of that and just enjoy it, then you're in the wrong sport.
An unchanged starting 11 from the Padiham game last Saturday. Just sort of talk me through today's selection.
I think it was just deserved. Arguably the best performance of the season last week. Tough circumstances. Going into the game, obviously, on paper, playing obviously another playoff team. I thought the lads were fantastic and they deserved to start. Obviously, you've got players like Rusty coming back available. You've got players on the bench knocking on the door. Lewis has been fantastic. But look, that's part and parcel of being a squad. I think when you perform like that, you expect to keep your shirt, and it's only fair that the lads did.
Ruben Jerome missing from the 16 today. Anything to read into there?
No, not at all. I think again, it's getting really difficult now to pick a squad. Obviously, we picked up a couple of little niggles and knocks today, but it was just making sure that we had covering in every position. You've always got to try and plan for the worst case scenario. A defender getting injured, a wing back in it, whatever else. So I think it was just making sure we had cover in all areas. And like I said, we'll assess next week based on next week's merits and how people train. So there's no guarantee that the squad will stay the same.
You mentioned the sort of knocks that were picked up there. Cam and Connor, is there anything to be concerned about there, or is it going to be one of those to assess in the week?
We'll assess it in the week. I think Cam's his shoulders just popped out a little bit. Probably one that would probably take 2 to 3 weeks in ordinary circumstances. Obviously, with it being the last game, it's probably going to be a case of strap it up and carry on. Connor, a touch of cramp. 21 years old and getting cramp. I'm not too sure I'm very happy with that, but look, he's worked hard today and hasn't got a lot of quality into him in terms of what to work with. But he hasn't played as much recently as he would have liked to. So playing 90 last week and obviously big part today. So he's just got a touch of cramp and it was a bit precautionary.
Tyler James getting the scoring plaudits again. That's now 5-2 for him. I guess you must be pleased for him and sort of the way his progress has progressed since joining the club.
He's a fantastic player. This is the reason why we wanted to bring him to the club. He was one of the players we were going to speak to in the summer. We didn't think it was right at the time, but he's got goals in him, and he's a very unassuming lad. He's very quiet. He's fit in straight away. It's always tough when you move to a big club like that, especially when you're a quiet lad and you're not super experienced in non-league. Coming to a club like Bury, where you've got really established players, you've obviously got the weight and expectation of the club and the crowd. It can be difficult. It takes a bit of time to adjust. So I said to him all the time, just relax and just wait. Your chance will come. When it does, you're good enough to take it. And the last 2 games he's proved that.
Mitch Allen confirmed as North West Counties Premier Division Keeper of the Month for March. You must be pleased with him.
Another clean sheet. 8 on the bounce. I don't know what happened to his kicking today. He was their best player for spells, but no. Look, he's a phenomenal goalkeeper. He's had to deal with some challenges in terms of a bit of a back line that's changed a little bit, a couple of different shapes, different personnel for different reasons. And I know we had a sticky spot in the middle of the season, but our confidence has never wavered in one little tiny bit. He was the best goalkeeper in the league above the last 2 seasons on the bounce. So there's no doubt that his capabilities to go higher.
And it's all roads to Gig Lane next week. Burscough, over now 5,300 tickets sold for that game. It's going to be quite an occasion next Saturday.
It is, but it's not a party. It's, you know, we've got to prep. We've got to go and win the game. I know that a point's enough, but we're not going to be setting ourselves up to try and take a point. There's no way. Beerschot are a good side. They've got very experienced players down the spine of the team. And look, they'll be coming to try and finish the season on a high. They've had a few ups and downs this season, but they're finishing really well. I think they're second or third in the form table. So they're going to be coming, and look, they're going to come and want to ruin our day, because, you know, it puts them in the shop window and sort of puts them in the manager's plans for next season. So they're a good side. We need to be at our best to go, and we will be going out to try and win the game.
Thanks for your time, Dave.